If you live in Georgia, you know that your Georgia power bill has gone up a lot. It's gone up $60 a month just in the last 2 years, putting most people's Georgia power bills in line with the size of a car payment. There's a lot of misbehavior going on behind those numbers. And last week, a group called System Check released an expose that shows just exactly what is going on in Georgia that makes the Georgia Public Service Commission the worst state commission in the nation.
In many states, private energy companies operate as regulated monopolies, meaning one company has exclusive control over electricity in a region in exchange for being regulated by the state. But what happens when the regulating bodies meant to protect citizens fail to do their job and uphold their end of the bargain? Today we'll be taking a look at Georgia Power, a subsidiary of Southern Company, the largest energy provider in the Southeast. Georgia operates under a regulated monopoly model, where customers are served by one utility provider assigned based on location. This means Georgia residents have no choice when it comes to their electricity provider. This also means that for residents who happen to live in Georgia Power territory, Georgia Power can increase rates on them nearly as they please. It's a power GP has used to its full advantage, especially with the Plant Vogtle nuclear expansion. Georgia Power and its partners recently completed the Plant Vogtle nuclear plant southeast of Atlanta near Waynesboro, Georgia, which is the first new nuclear plant in the US in more than 30 years. Unfortunately, Plant Vogtle's costs skyrocketed. What began as a $14 billion project in 2009 ballooned to a staggering $35 billion by the time it was finished. So did Georgia Power's investors go under after this historic mismanagement? Not exactly. In December of 2023, Georgia Power's lawyers went before Georgia's Public Service Commission, the state regulating body tasked with overseeing utility companies, and argued that $7.6 billion in extra project costs should be passed on to Georgia residents through increased monthly fees in their power bills. The Public Service Commission is a quasi-judicial state agency made up of 5 elected commissioners, none of whom live in Georgia Power territory. So when it came time to decide who should foot the bill of this mess, the investors or the public, what did the commissioners choose? Instead of holding Georgia Power accountable and making shareholders clean up their own mess, the PSC allowed Georgia Power to pass over 90% of the costs on to consumers. Why did the Public Service Commission allow this deal? Because the Georgia PSC is captured by the utility they regulate, which Georgia Power likes to term as constructive regulation, but which really means giving Georgia Power whatever they ask for. The very lawyers who argued Georgia Power's case before the PSC, they've donated tens of thousands of dollars to the campaigns of the commissioners making these decisions. In order to fly under the radar of the $8,400 campaign contribution limit, Troutman Pepper lawyers split donations amongst their team. In fact, just these 3 lawyers alone have donated nearly $50,000 to the 5 commissioners. Add in 14 other attorneys at Troutman Pepper, plus the firm itself, and the total rises to a staggering $121,727. The fattest cat of them all is Commissioner Tricia Pridemore, originally appointed by Governor Kemp in 2016 after serving as a political operative on his re-election campaign. Commissioner Pridemore was first elected in 2020 after receiving thousands from corporate interests. Georgia Power's ability to offload billions in costs onto residents didn't happen in a vacuum. It happened because the system meant to regulate them is broken. Public service commissioners in Georgia serve 6-year terms, but recent elections have been delayed due to a federal lawsuit. As a result, Commissioner Tim Echols, last re-elected in 2016, has now served for 9 years without facing voters. That could change soon. 2 PSC seats, District 2 and 3, are up for election on November 4th, 2025. Echols will be seeking re-election in District 2. Here's Echols' pitch on why you should elect him.
We're going to freeze rates for 3 years. So you've got a public service commission that listens to you, and that's why it's great to have a public service commission that's elected. I hope you'll elect me.
Ironically, running in District 3 is newcomer Fitz Johnson, who was appointed by Governor Kemp in 2021 and has never stood for election. These races are usually low profile, but the stakes couldn't be higher. Your energy bill and who profits from it depends on it.
So please vote out the incumbents and vote in 2 new people who do represent Georgia Power customers, Peter Hubbard and Alicia Johnson. For more information, go to georgiansforaffordableenergy.org.